Most Florida retirement lists give you the same 5 places: Naples, Sarasota, The Villages, Fort Myers, Clearwater. Those are not wrong answers. They are incomplete ones, and several have gotten expensive enough that the word retirement requires a second look. This video covers 10 towns where retirees are measurably working. One of them has the cheapest real estate per square foot of any metro in Florida, and ranked #1 nationally for population growth 2 years in a row. One of them kept its power on through 2 Category 4 hurricanes because the infrastructure was built that way. And the town at #1 has a median age of 69.2, with 61% of its residents over 65, and a hospital whose emergency department was certified specifically for geriatric patients in 2024. A lot of you asked for this one after the Ancient Structures video. Here it is. This channel makes these lists from primary research. Subscribe if that's useful today. 10 Florida towns where retirees actually thrive. Number 10, Inverness, Citrus County. Nearly 45% of Citrus County residents are over 60. The county's median age is 56.9 compared to 42.6 statewide. The 2024 ACS data, analyzed by the Citrus County Chronicle in April 2026, found that the county's economy and services had reorganized around its aging population, not by design, but by decades of accumulation. Inverness has 38.2% of residents over 65. Median home listing $253,000 to $275,000. HCA Florida Citrus Hospital in town. Cost of living 14. 8% below the Florida average. The poverty rate is near 15%. Specialized care means a drive to Tampa or Gainesville. If I were retiring on a fixed income and needed the math to work from the first month, this is an honest answer. Number 9. Mount Dora, Lake County. It has hills, actual, visible hills in Florida, a geographic anomaly the town built an identity around. Founded in 1874, it calls itself Little New England, and the Victorian storefronts on Donnelly Street, the Spanish moss, the antique shops, and the lakefront earned the comparison. Population grew 24.3% from 2019 to 2024. Median age is 48.8. Younger than most towns on this list because it attracts pre-retirees alongside retirees. Assisted living averages $3, $823 a month per the 2024 Genworth Cost of Care Survey, about $930 below the Florida median. Lake Express Transit runs Monday through Friday. Passengers 60 and older ride for 50 cents. That is such a specific number that I double-checked it. It's real. Florida Hospital Waterman in Tavares is 5 miles out. Orlando is 45 minutes. Home prices ran $405,000 to $440,000 through 2025. Above the national average and climbing. Mount Dora gets discovered in waves. Each one pushes the price higher. Number 8. Tarpon Springs, Pinellas County. In the 1880s, a Philadelphia entrepreneur named John Chiney identified sponge-rich waters off the Gulf Coast and recruited Greek divers from the Aegean Islands. Their families followed. The sponge industry later declined. Synthetic competition, red tide blight, but the community did not leave. What remains is the sponge docks on Dodecanese Boulevard, Greek Orthodox churches, the Cathedral of St. Nicholas, modeled on the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, and an annual Epiphany celebration, described as one of the largest Greek Orthodox gatherings in the United States. About 30% of residents are 65 or older. Median household income, $79,529. Homes in the $360,000 to $400,000 range. Access to Mies Dunedin Hospital's Baycare system and Morton plant in Clearwater. A resident of the Meadows 55-plus community here described it in 2025 as quiet, with Clearwater and St. Petersburg close by. The cultural identity is genuine. The tourist pressure every winter is also genuine. Number 7. Fernandina Beach, Nassau County. The median home value here is around $606,000 as of mid-2024. The median household income is $97,093, the highest of any town on this list. I think this entry needs that number stated first because everything else only makes sense once you've accepted it. What you are paying for. The northernmost barrier island on Florida's Atlantic coast. A 50-block Victorian historic district on the National Register of Historic Places. 8 flags in the island's history: French, Spanish, British, Patriots Republic, Green Cross of Florida, Mexican, American, Confederate, which gave it the nickname the Isle of 8 Flags. The shrimp boats still run on the Amelia River. Population grew 5% from 2019 to 2024. Jacksonville is 30 miles south with Mayo Clinic, UF Health Jacksonville, and Baptist Health accessible. No hospital within the city itself. Those who can afford to enter here tend not to leave quickly. Number 6, New Smyrna Beach, Volusia County. This city was settled in 1768. British physician Andrew Turnbull. Approximately 1,500 minor can colonists. Indigo cultivation. One of the largest organized colonial settlements in the Americas before the Revolution. Descendants of those colonists are still present in the local culture. The city appeared on pandemic-era relocation lists 252 years later. Median age around 58. Only 21% of households have children under 18. A demographic fingerprint of an adult-oriented community. The Atlantic Center for the Arts, a nationally recognized artist residency program, operates here in a city of 33,000. Median home prices were about $432,500 in November 2025, down 15.6% year over year, for retirees with equity from a prior home sale. That correction is a real entry point. No acute care hospital in the city. Canal Street is the social anchor. It is quieter than Daytona Beach, and it has been deliberately for 40 years. Number 5. Ocala, Marion County. The Ocala Metro ranked number 1 in the United States for percentage population growth in 2023-24 at 4.0%, and again in 2024-25 at 3.4%. Marion County added 66,000 people between 2020 and 2025. U-Haul named Ocala the top destination for its customers in 2025. The reason? Per U-Haul's regional president, citing Ocala Magazine in April 2025. Cost of living. Ocala has the cheapest real estate per square foot of any Florida metro. $183 per a Cinch Home Services analysis of Realtor.com data. Median home around $266,000 to $282,000. Cost of living 11% below the national average. The World Equestrian Center, 4,000 acres, $800 million, named a Time World's Greatest Place in 2024, is 15 minutes out. The infrastructure is behind the growth by more than a decade. Per the Ocala Magazine's own assessment in April 2025, roads, public safety, schools. Retirees who came for horse country quiet are now living in an active construction zone. That is not the same thing. If any of these match where you are, or where you're heading, drop the town name in the comments and when you moved. We read those for the next video. 4 entries left, and they are the ones where the numbers start to matter most. Number 4. Babcock Ranch, Charlotte County. When Hurricane Ian made landfall near Fort Myers in September 2022, Category 4, 167 deaths, most of southwest Florida without power for weeks. Babcock Ranch kept its lights on. When Hurricane Milton came through in 2024, same result. This is not an accident. Babcock Ranch is America's first entirely solar-powered town, running on an 870-acre Florida power and light solar farm, with all utilities underground. It sits about 30 miles inland from Fort Myers, outside the flood zones that devastated coastal communities in both 2004 and 2022. The community recorded 1,066 net home sales in 2025, a 34% increase from 2024, ranked 4th nationally among master-planned communities by John Burns Research. Homes start in the $300,000. The Regency 55-plus neighborhood by Toll Brothers starts in the $400,000, with 495 planned units. Let me back up on the obvious concern. This is a developer's vision, not an organic town. Founders Square, the farmers markets, the community calendar, programmed by Kitson and partners. The civic history is 6 years old. But the solar infrastructure and the inland position were chosen before Ian proved them right. The design decision preceded the proof. That is not nothing. Number 3. Dunedin, Pinellas County. This town should work perfectly for retirement. The price reflects that it knows it. Median age 58. About 35.3% of residents are 65 or older. Mies Dunedin Hospital, part of the Bay Care system, runs senior health services in town. Morton Plant in Clearwater is 4 miles south. The full Tampa Bay healthcare network is 30 minutes away. The Pinellas Trail, a 47-mile paved multi-use path, runs directly through downtown Dunedin, not alongside it, through it, crossing Main Street. Flat, car-free access from most residential addresses to restaurants, the waterfront, and the marina. Caladesi Island, named the #1 beach in America by Dr. Beach in 2008 and consistently among the top undeveloped beaches in the country, is a ferry ride from the northwest edge of town. The Toronto Blue Jays hold spring training downtown in February and March. The median home ran about $420, 0 as of November 2025. Actually, that number needs context. It's a current transaction-based figure across all housing types, and it is above the national average. Some sources give a lower all-types figure. This is the relevant one for someone buying in today. The Pinellas Trail crossing downtown is the detail most retirement destinations don't have. It is also what explains the price. Number 2. Punta Gorda, Charlotte County. Hurricane Charley made direct landfall here on August 13, 2004. Category 4. The city was largely destroyed. Stricter building codes followed. Then Hurricane Ian struck the broader region again on September 29, 2022, damaging seawalls and properties throughout the area. The median age in Punta Gorda is 66.3. About 53% of the city's 278 residents are 65 or older, among the highest percentages of any American city its size. The Charlotte County's metro ranked 4th nationally for percentage population growth in 2024 to 25. People kept moving in after Charley. They kept moving in after Ian. The Harbor Walk runs 2.4 miles along Charlotte Harbor and the Peace River, free and open year-round, connecting Gilchrist Park to Fisherman's Village, a waterfront complex on a pier dating to 1928. Median home prices ran $344,000 to $390. Risen through 2025, below both the state and national averages. The trade-off is insurance. Charlotte County has taken 2 direct Category 4 hits. Property insurance costs have risen in ways that the standard cost of living calculations does not capture. The loyalty that built a 66. 3 median age across 2 hurricanes is its own kind of testimony. Number 1. Venice, Sarasota County. There is a woman who goes to Venice Beach every Tuesday morning at low tide and runs a mesh scoop through the sand looking for shark's teeth. She is 74 years old. 11 years. Every week. That is what Venice looks like at its most specific. The numbers. Median age 69.2. The highest or among the highest of any incorporated Florida city. About 61% of Venice's roughly 27,000 residents are 65 or older. The population grew 19% from 2019 to 2024. The seniors are still arriving. In 2023, Sarasota Memorial Hospital's Venice campus earned Age-Friendly Health System designation from the Institute for Healthcare Improvement and the John A. Hartford Foundation. In 2024, its emergency centers earned Geriatric Emergency Department accreditation, specific protocols for delirium screening, fall prevention, and medication management suited to elderly patients. ARP Florida recognized Sarasota County in January's 2026 for completing 10 years as an age-friendly community. Venice was designed in 1925 by the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers as a model Italian Renaissance planned city, arched windows, terracotta roofs, a walkable downtown grid, more than 100 locally owned shops and restaurants, 14 miles of Gulf Beach. Median home prices ran around $400,000 as of early 2026, down from pandemic peaks. The trade-off is structural. 61% of a city over 65 means every service eventually has to scale to match. That is a future tension. It is not a present failure. The woman with the mesh scoop. The ERs that certified itself for elderly patients. The arched windows on Venice Avenue. It holds. Florida has more retirement infrastructure than any other state and more cautionary tales per mile than almost anywhere. Babcock Ranch is my pick off this list. The hurricane resilience is documented in a way that most marketing claims can't replicate. Subscribe for the next one. Which of these was the surprise? Drop it in the comments.